Hi and welcome everyone to another video on this channel. Today we're gonna be talking about the best forwards under 8 millions for the next season of Fantasy Premier League. So let's see how it looks like at the moment. The first player I want to talk about is OLLIE Watkins from Aston Villa, 7.5 millions. He is in a good form right now. He scored 2 goals in the preseason, so hopefully he can continue doing that in the Premier League. The good thing about Aston Villa is that the first 3 games are amazing, okay? They are playing Watford, Newcastle and Brentford at home, which is maybe the best start for any team. But then it gets a little trickier. They are playing Chelsea, Everton and Man United away, which will be tough. So it's up to you if you want to have more Aston Villa players just for the first 3 games and maybe you want to transfer them out. But in my opinion, Watkins is maybe the best shout for the first 3 games at least. Okay, his stats last season were pretty good with 14 goals, 9 assists and his XG per 90 was brilliant, 0.44, that's really good. He was not the best finisher last season, but hopefully now that there is so much creativity in that Aston Villa midfield with Grealish and now Buendia, I think that Watkins gonna improve much more this season. He's gonna get more chances, he's gonna score more goals than last season, why not? But overall, I really like Watkins as a player. I think that he's such a complete player. He can score with his right, with his left, and with his head too. So yeah, his ownership is pretty high, 34.8%, which is not great because it's pretty hard to go without him because he can punish you easily. So if nothing changed till the start of the season, Watkins will be probably in my team. Next up, we have Danny Ings from Southampton, and what I like about Ings is that he's such a clinical striker. We all know how good he can finish and that he doesn't need many chances to score goals. Obviously, he had some injury problems last season, but still he got 12 goals and 4 assists. Okay, the fixtures for Southampton are not the best. They are playing Newcastle, West Ham, Wolverhampton, but even Everton away could be a decent game. Obviously, the games against Man United and Man City will be pretty tough. What I like about him is that he's the main man at Southampton, he's taking penalties, and with that ownership of 4.1%, I really think that he could be a great differential for your team. Obviously, it's pretty hard to integrate him in your team because he's 8 millions and this year there are so many good players at 7.5 millions. But maybe if you take the risk, it could be worth it. The next player on my list is Callum Wilson from Newcastle. He's 7.5 millions, which is a really nice price for what he can do on the pitch. But what I like about him is that he's an amazing goal scorer. He can score penalties and he's the main man at Newcastle, to be honest with you. His stats last season were pretty good, although he missed a big part of the season, but still he got 12 goals, 6 assists. His XG per 90 was brilliant, 0.52, although this is with penalties too, but still 5.2 points per match is amazing for any player. Another great thing is that Newcastle have amazing fixtures in the first 6 games at least. They are playing West Ham, Aston Villa, Southampton, Leeds and Watford away, which is a great run of fixtures, with just one tough game against Man United away. Okay, Wilson scored 1 goal in the preseason till now, but what I like about him is his low ownership, just 4.8%, which means that he's gonna be a great differential for the start of the season at least, so I'm gonna watch him very closely in the preseason. Next up we have KELECHI IHEANACHO, and what a player he was last season. He was so important for my team, he was insane, scoring almost every game in the second part of the season. I really like his price at 7.5 millions. I think that seems pretty fair for what he did last season. 12 goals, 2 assists, 0.36 expected goals per 90 and 4.5 points per match seems pretty good to me. The fixtures for Leicester are pretty okay. They are playing Wolves, Norwich and Burnley, which is amazing. And they've got some tricky fixtures against West Ham, Manchester City and Brighton away. But still, that's a really good run of fixtures for IHEANACHO, and we know that he can harm those teams. There is a problem with him because I think that maybe there is a little competition with him and Vardy and the new signing Daka, although I think that he should be a starter because what he did last season, maybe alongside Vardy. we need to take into consideration that Barnes gonna come back from injury. So yeah, we need to see, but surely IHEANACHO will be a top pick in that bracket. The next player on my list is Dominic Calvert-Lewin from Everton. His price is 8 millions, which seems pretty fair considering that he was insane last season. I mean, just look at those stats. 16 goals, 6 assists and 0.55 expected goals per 90 is just brilliant. Also, the fixtures for Everton are amazing. They are playing Southampton, Leeds, Brighton, Burnley, Aston Villa and Norwich in the first 6 games, and it's pretty hard to go without Calvert-Lewin in those fixtures. Also, I think that it's pretty hard for him to do it again this season, but who knows, maybe I'm wrong. Personally, I'm gonna try to have him in my team, but if you need an extra 0.5 millions, maybe you should go for a cheaper striker. There is another manager at Everton, and we need to see how he's gonna perform under Rafa Benitez, but I'm sure that Calvert-Lewin is gonna be a great pick for the start of the season. The next player on my list is Tammy Abraham from Chelsea, and okay, don't look at the fixtures. The reason why he's on my list is because he might leave to Arsenal, right? So if that's the case, I think that Abraham could be an amazing pick at 6.5 millions if he's gonna be nailed on there. Okay, his stats from last season were pretty bad, but he didn't play much, and still he got 6 goals, 2 assists and 0.28 expected goals per 90, which is pretty decent. So if he's gonna leave to Arsenal, maybe he's gonna be in my team, because just think about it, a 6.5 striker who plays for Arsenal, that seems pretty good to me. But of course, we need to see what will happen to him, and maybe these days we'll find more about it, and we'll have a better picture. The next player I want to talk about is Ivan Toney from Brentford, maybe the most popular forward this season, although we didn't see him play in the Premier League. But he started really well. He has 1 goal in the preseason till now, his own penalties, and his stats last season in the championship were insane. Just look at that, 33 goals, 10 assists and 0.74 expected goals per 90. That's really just brilliant. Of course, from what I heard, he's an amazing goal scorer, so I'm expecting him to do really well in the Premier League. But of course, he will need some time to adapt to the Premier League because we know the difference between the two leagues. The fixtures for Brentford are not bad. They are playing Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, Brighton and Wolverhampton in the first 6 games, which is pretty decent. And they have some tough fixtures against Arsenal and Liverpool. But overall, I think that if you need a 6.5 forward, maybe Toney is the best option for you. Next up, we have Rodrigo Moreno from Leeds, and now that Bamford is 8 millions, I don't really see him as an option anymore, so I think that Rodrigo could be a great value player from Leeds at 6.5 millions. Okay, his stats from last season weren't great, but he didn't play that much, and still he got 7 goals and 4 assists, which is pretty decent. Another good thing is that Leeds have pretty nice fixtures in the first 6 games. They are playing Everton, Burnley, Newcastle and West Ham, which is pretty good. Okay, they have some tough fixtures against Man United and Liverpool, but still, I think that Rodrigo could get something there if he's gonna play. Of course, it's pretty hard to integrate him in your team because maybe there are better options at Leeds in the midfield like Harrison and Rafinha, but if you don't want to go for them, Rodrigo is your man. Another thing is that he plays in a very attacking side in Leeds. We know that he can score many goals. We saw that last season, and I really like him as a player. And if you want a differential, he could be a great option. The next player on my list is RICHARLISON from Everton, and what I really like about him is that he's cheaper than Dominic Calvert-Lewin with 0.5 millions, and he's much less owned with just 5.5 ownership. His stats last season were pretty good with 7 goals and 6 assists, and I really think that he can rival Dominic Calvert-Lewin this season for FPL points. He also can take penalties if Sigurdsson doesn't play, so overall I really like him as a player. Of course, he's now playing at the Olympics. I think that he scored a hat-trick, but so I don't think that he's gonna be ready for the start of the season. That's unlucky, but maybe after that he might be good with Rafa Benitez in charge of Everton. As I said, Everton have very nice fixtures. They are playing Southampton, Leeds, Brighton, Burnley, Villa and Norwich in the first 6 games, which is incredible. So Richarlison could be a great value pick this season. The last player on my list is Antonio from West Ham. We know that he's a great player, but with a bad history regarding injuries. Now he scored 2 goals in 1 game in the preseason, so that's good news for us. He was a beast last season. As you can see, he scored 10 goals and 5 assists, which is pretty good because he didn't play much last season because he wasn't fit. But what I like about him is that his ownership is not that high at the moment, and his price is really good for what he can do on the pitch. The fixture for West Ham are pretty good in my opinion. They are playing Newcastle, Crystal Palace, Southampton and Leeds, and surely Antonio could harm those teams. They have some tough fixtures against Leicester and Man United, not gonna lie, but still that's a good run of fixtures. Maybe a problem for Antonio could be that Lingard is no longer a West Ham player, so that could be bad news for him, but he's that kind of player who can score amazing goals. His positioning in the box is amazing. He's almost every time in the right place, so I think that Antonio it's a great option for the start of the season. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please consider leaving a like or subscribing to my channel and let me know about your opinions down below. See you next time.